Hey guys, the new Marshall JCM 800 module for Synergy is here, and today we're gonna have some fun and check it out. And you know what? Let's start right away with the demo song. Take a listen. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That was my ESP EII Eclipse in Vintage Honeyburst with the Duncan JB in the bridge into the Synergy Syn20 IR, in which I've loaded up the new Marshall JCM 800 module. It sounds so good. It's an excellent module. This is the second collaboration with Marshall actually. The first one was the Plexi, the JMP, and now the JCM 800. What a legendary amplifier. And now you can have all those glorious tones inside of your Synergy system. And I must say that I'm really loving the tones that I'm getting out of this unit so far. It sounds so good. And it's a bit more flexible than a real JCM 800 actually. Now the amp is being fed into my Grossmann Fatbox 1x12 ISO cab with my Celestion Vintage 30, mic'd up with 3 mics, 2 SM57s and 1 MD421 Kompakt, sent into the DAW, and that's it. Right now I'm holding my ESP LTD Phoenix Deluxe Quilted Maple with the Duncan Custom in the bridge, going into my pedal board with Zuta the gate on right now, and going into the amplifier once again. And yeah, this is the sound that I had dialed up for the intro track. I'm on the red channel with structure B, reactance set to noon, sounds super glorious. Really has that Marshall rawness going on, that mid-range bark, that clarity and that texture. And mind you, this is at a normal sort of living room volume. It's not loud at all. The Syn20 IR obviously is a 20 watt amplifier, and it doesn't need to get loud in order for it to sound great. And this new module has a special trick up its sleeve for that as well, which I will talk about. Now, an actual JCM 800 is a little bit limited in terms of the tonal shaping options. You've got a low and a high input, a single channel, 3-band EQ with the presence control, a preamp, which is basically a gain control, and a level control. And that's it, right? Now with this new Marshall JCM 800 module, you get 2 channels, so you can balance them out. Use one for clean tones, for example, or use one for rhythms and the other for lead. They are identical, but there are some shaping options here that you can use to shape the tone, which I'll get into. But with the Syn20 IR, that means that you get 3 channels. So the standard clean channel, of course, and then 2 JCM 800 goodness channels, if you will. Both the channels have a high and low input switch, which I'll let you hear in a second. a preamp control or a gain control, a 3-way bright switch, which is cool, 3-band EQ, a volume control, and a presence control. So in terms of the layout and the controls, it's already more flexible than a real JCM 800, which is awesome in my opinion. And then of course, in the case of the Syn 20IR, you also get the reactance control for additional shaping and the structure. So you can really fine tune the sound a little bit more in an amplifier like this. Of course, you can also use it in the Syn 50, which I have up there. It's also an excellent platform, but I really appreciate the tonal shaping options that you get with the Syn 20IR, with the reactance and the structure controls and stuff. So, you know, in terms of the tonal shaping options, it's quite a bit more versatile than an actual JCM 800, which I like, but it still has that Marshall classic sonic signature, if you will. And you don't need to crank it up super loud, which was also the case with the JMP module. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to play through, that's for sure. All right, so let's take a look at all the controls and how they affect the tone, starting with the high and low switch. I'm just going to stick to the red channel because they are identical after all. But with that switch, you get either a bit more gain or a bit less gain, just as how you would have by changing the input on a normal JCM 800, right? So when the gain is set a little bit high, like this, the difference isn't huge. But as you can hear, when I set it to low, there's a bit less gain, right? Let's set it to low and turn down the gain to around 10 o'clock or so and switch to the neck pickup. That's a very chimey clean tone, right? Or broken up clean tone. When you lower the gain on a Marshall like this, the sound can get very bright. Now with the bright switch, you can fine tune that. So right now it's set to the bottom position, which is very bright. Let's set it to the middle position. It's much more warm and round. And set it to the top position for a different flavor. That's a little bit of brightness dialed in. And again, the bottom setting is the brightest, which works better when you add a little bit more gain. So for low gain, I do prefer the middle setting. Has a wonderful chimey sound and some nice breakup going on. I think this is probably a good pedal platform sound actually. So let's try this with a fuzz pedal, which is not what I do usually. That's the DOD Chthonic Fuzz, really fun pedal. That sounded pretty good. Still a little bit on the bright side, but you get what I mean. If you set it to a very bright, so the bottom position, it's gonna get a little bit too bright probably. Yeah, so that's why it's great to have that bright switch option, just so you can fine tune it for what you're using it for, right? Now, as we start to increase the gain, you will notice that the effects will be a bit less drastic. So let's switch to the high input setting. And then I'll start raising the gain. Let's go to 2 o'clock again. Now, if we go to the middle setting right now, It's a little bit thicker, a little bit more round, but again, the bright switch effect is a little bit more subtle. Which is also what will happen with the real JCM 800 as you crank the gain up. Let's put it to the bottom setting as we're using a bit more gain. I think it sounds the best. It's a bit more clear sounding. Now let's see how much gain there is on tap. On a real JCM 800, there's not a huge amount of gain on tap. I think as much as around where I'm at right now, let's say 2 o'clock or so. That's why it's a very popular amp to boost with the Tube Screamer, which we'll do in a minute as well. But let's see how much gain there is on tap without a boost pedal. So let's crank the gain up all the way. That's a nice amount of gain, and the response is a bit more thick that way, rather than lowering the gain. That's a bit more of a tight response. And that's a bit thicker. So now that we've cranked the gain up all the way, let's add a Maxon OD808 to see what that does to the tone. Let's see what happens if we put the bright switch to the middle position now. That's a quite nice sound. Sort of 80s metal approaching thrash. So that is cool. It sounds great with the boost as well, as you heard. Let's go back to gain at, let's say 3 o'clock, bright switch again to the middle setting, and then try the EQ. Now again, on a normal JCM 800, the EQ can be quite subtle. Let's see how drastic the EQ is on this module. And let's start with the bass control. Let's dial it down first and then dial it up. Makes the sound a bit thinner, right? Noon. And then all the way up. It seems a little bit more active than on a real JCM 800, so that's cool, but still on the subtle side. Let's do the mid control as well. That's some drastic scoop pitch right there. All the way up. I like that. That adds a nice amount of bark. Same for the treble control. Yeah, so I feel like the standard tone stack EQ controls are a bit more, let's say, drastic or active than on a JCM 800 head, which is nice. So you can go in and shape the tone a little bit further than you might with a real JCM 800. Finally, let's try the presence control. All the way off. Noon. And all the way. That really brings the guitar forward, so it really raises the upper mids, which is cool, just as how you would see it with an actual JCM. So with a lot of modern amplifiers, with the presence control, you really increase those sizzly frequencies, but this really changes the mid frequencies as well. Really cool. Another cool thing that this module has that is unique to this module, so this is the first module of Synergy that uses 3 preamp tubes in there. And it also has the 0-watt power amp phase inverter thingy, which makes it sound like a cranked amp at any volume. And it really has that saggy, cranked feel when you're playing it. And it's really cool, man. Even though, as I said, this is at a normal like living room volume, it really sounds like a cranked amplifier. This is a 20-watt EL84 amp, but it sounds so massive. This is definitely one of my favorite amplifiers for that reason. It sounds huge, but it's compact, and you can exchange it with all those modules and get any sound you want, basically. For fun, we can try the reactance control as well, just so you can hear how that sounds with this module. It's at noon right now. Let's lower it and then raise it. So obviously it adds more clarity once you crank it up, right? Let's do the structure. So I'm on structure B right now, which is a bit more of a vintage power amp sound. Let's go to structure A first. Let's do some simple chords. Back to B. And then C, which is a more modern and a sort of smooth sound. So if you don't like the hairiness, you know, that an amplifier like a Marshall JCM 800 can have, you can change the structure of the power amp so that it's a little bit more smooth and modern, a little bit more Friedman-esque, actually. Yeah, I think I prefer B because it's just a bit more wide open sounding for this module. All right, that was a quick look at the new Marshall JCM 800 Synergy module. It's so awesome. I prefer it over a real JCM 800 just because of how flexible it is and at how good it sounds at any volume. I love it a lot for that classic, barky, signature JCM 800 tone with a bit more tonal flexibility with the 2 channels, the bright switch, the input gain switch. It's wonderful. Go check it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below because I'd love to know. And if you want to support this channel, get one of these modules at my affiliate links for Thomann and Sweetwater. That would be really appreciated. Or get something in my web store. And be sure to follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.